How could it be in the Prime Minister's interest to make a statement like that? And he has never, because I waited 3 months after the statement was made, he has never recalled the statement. He has never said, I was quoted out of context. He has never said, that was not my intention. So that action have to be the sum total of a man who has deceived his own people maliciously, or he is a political lunatic. That's one of the reasons I say so. The Prime Minister, the second one, the Prime Minister, not an individual who was involved in frontline politics before. So the public don't know him in frontline politics. They don't know what he stands for. They campaign on the fact that they were new. They were brand new. So the public believe that all the party fighting and the bickering and the political pecans, we want a brand new group of people that has not been stained in any way politically. They want 9 seats. The opposition leader immediately engaged the Prime Minister, conceded defeat, congratulate him, and pledge his support to work with him. But that is good politics. It's like you go to box, but they say you have to knock the hand of the next boxer, or a captain in a cricket or football team is expected to shake the hand of the side that beat them up. You call that courtly manners, gentleman attitude. So you expect that level of decorum in politics too. So why was it necessary for the Prime Minister to say, I didn't engage Kit Mitchell, it's he that called me? Now the Prime Minister is not Tevin Andrew. And I've said that many times. He's a lawyer. And the only strong point of lawyers is words. Manipulation of words. That's where a lawyer is strong. Words. So the Prime Minister knows what these words mean. Why the Prime Minister felt it necessary to make that statement? That, in my opinion, doesn't benefit. It is of no benefit to the Prime Minister of Grenada. And that, I believe, contribute to the fact that I am reasonable to say he is a political lunatic. But you just can't have two things to come to that conclusion. So let me add another one. 50 years after our independence in Grenada, 50 years. We got independence before the Prime Minister of Grenada was born. He didn't die. He didn't born yet. I was in town. But the Prime Minister must know that you ought not to be divisive and be demeaning and insulting to your constituents. The Prime Minister considered Grenadians as classless, commoners, beggy, and cultural illiterates. Now tell me how these statements benefit the Prime Minister political career or any member of the NDC. Please tell me. How does it benefit any Grenadian to treat others as being classless and commoners and beggy and culturally literate. Now you're dealing with an individual that is good in English language. Lawyers are generally good communicators. They're writing agreements every day. They're dotting I's and crossing T. Lawyers are good. Now, how that is in the Prime Minister's interest? That qualifies him to be a political lunatic. There are many, many, many more utterances and instances that make the Prime Minister seem so flip-flant and gullible and naive. Imagine the Prime Minister went into a country. He refused to inform Foreign Affairs. And he had to be chastised by the governor of Lagos State. He had to be chastised for sneaking in the country. Now, how does these things benefit the Prime Minister of Grenada? You see, we have to recognize this Prime Minister is our Prime Minister. And what he does in the international arena is a direct reflection of our country. Yes, caller, welcome.
Right, thank you very much, President. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Well, I just came in and joined in your program. And I heard you making a statement there a while ago. But could you please, if it's available, the statement that the Prime Minister made, because I'm totally ignorant of it. If you have it and you can replay it for me, I'll be happy to listen to it. And let me just, in closing here quickly, lawyers, it is written in the book of Luke, verse 52, woe to you lawyers, because you take the key away from the poor and vulnerable. It is plain written. Now, I don't believe in the name Jesus Christ, but I believe in the Messiah and I believe in the Almighty. And these words that are written in the Bible, I've been studying them long before age 14. I have been an acolyte in the Catholic Church, and I moved away from that, and I have not joined any particular religion after that. So I would like to hear, if you have the statement, if you can replay it, that I can get it to hear it. I would like to, because lawyers, woe to those lawyers. I had my share with all of them come down. All of them come down, from I Duncan right up until in this recent time. Thank you very much.
Yes, but unfortunately, I don't play clips on my program. I have a short program. I generally encourage people to call and express themselves, but I don't play clip on it. But I'm certain that if you make any little research around, you could get it. The Prime Minister claimed in an alien land that we campaign on a policy of transformation, but it is not so much transformation, it is restorative justice. The Prime Minister made a statement in the public domain, words to the effect that the only reason that they're helping NNP helpers, members, is because they don't know who the real NDC is. And as a result of that, I saw a sharp upsurge in political victimization. They started the victimization program and we attacked it mercilessly. And I must say I saw some improvement. But after the public statement by the Prime Minister, I saw a sharp upsurge in victimization again. I remember in one case with caregivers, they fired all of them. And what was sad, they fired them 2 days after they started work for the new month. But after much discussion, the majority of them in that group was re-employed except one. And everybody was thankful because the other women was on the point of tears, some of them. Although they fired two early and they told one she walking on ice. As soon as she reached 60, they make her go. And then they pick up women 63 and 65 and go. And we attacked these things. And we saw there was some level of improvement. And then the Prime Minister make his statement, and you see an upsurge in victimization again. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Well, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yeah, I just joined in. I don't know where to start, but
In
there's
the
a lot of
middle.
place to start. Clifford and all the other advocates, where you? I find Clifford quiet these days.
Clifford
Um,
always on radio. Go ahead. You look at
yes. What I would like to say is we have to continue echoing our voices of the wrongdoings, because I heard activists saying when the judge speak, they must stop. So the people know what they are doing. I spoke to some who said, once I eat enough food, I don't care whether the Prime Minister go right or wrong. We are heading a dangerous way because they only care about themselves. They are very selfish. They say once they eat enough food, some again said to me, we know the Prime Minister making a lot of mistakes, but we want to work. I started to get frightened because I could remember as a little boy with Sir Giving. People with good jobs. If they're looking for a job inside this, and even under Kit Mitchell, you still could come out openly and say that they are wrong in certain areas. So I want to know whether we have a one-man rule coming back in this place, as in the days of Bishop. That is the question I want to ask. If anybody here hear me, they could come in, because if a leader is wrong, he's wrong. But definitely I get to know that certain people say they're afraid to say. They know he's doing a lot of wrong. Just so one said, in the housing, again, look, there are builders who drop off. They say they cannot get their money. Something is wrong. What more are we waiting on? What more are we waiting on? To send a definitely signal to the Prime Minister and his team that they're not ready to handle the affairs of this country. It is clear to see that this group of people is not ready for the governance of this country. You don't have no friendship in that. You don't have no giving a man a chance. This is not a gamble. This is not, in 100 days, you've seen where a leader heading. Greater than 3 years. 3 years. And we see where we're going. We see we have a leader that have no respect for the people of this country. We see we have a leader who don't care about the people. We have nothing more to look for but to talk to our children and our children's children, and let us do the right thing. I rest my case.
Yes. So you can call and you can speak on what I am speaking on, or you can make your contribution anyway. When I make a statement, I always try to advance reasons why I say what I say. And I'm willing to explain it. But if you have information that is credible, then I'll change my position. I will change my position. But when a leader says these things that is not in his political interest, you're wondering why. Why does a leader engage in these massive statements that is not in his political interest. Yes, caller, welcome. Go right ahead, caller.
At the end of the year,
Yes, caller, welcome.
at the end of the year, Mr. Pierre,
You on the air, you live.
well, I want to talk about Deacon. Deacon calling Emmeline mother hen, but he is the mother hen, and Kevin and Andy and all of them is the chicken. Remember
Okay.
he said so?
So that is a disrespectful statement
Yeah.
that he ought not to have made.
Okay, he calling Emmeline mother hen, but he is the mother hen with he and his three chicken, Andy and Kevin and all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that statement again was not called for. Yes, caller, welcome.
After Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Pierre, as long as God give you a life, a breath of life, and I will speak of the corruption that is taking place in the country, especially in the country. Mr. Pierre, you know, sometimes in your life you have a friend, and when you have a friend and you see him doing something wrong thing, how could you sit down there and laugh and talk with him and refuse to tell him what he did is wrong?
Well, a lot of time that
How could
happens because you don't want to break friendship with him. Sometimes you benefiting, sometimes you're afraid. So all these things has happened.
Yeah, but well, see what Mr. Pierre say again. See, when you I do believe a friend is a friend should be a true friend, right? Because you as I am a friend, and you know what you're doing is wrong, right? And when you sit down and tell that person that what you consider a friend, what he do is right, right? In the long run, the friend going to see you as not a friend, right? Because he might tell himself when he doing right, you should support him. But the thing that what how you consider you afterwards, if Mr. President
Laco tried that and they fire Laco.
and see her doing it friend.
Laco
And
tried telling Deacon that and they fire Laco.
Well, right now, Mr. Lacret feel much happier than he sit down in a ministry.
You feel it?
He's in charge of that ministry. And he see the corruption taking place, he don't say nothing. Right? I do that would have been more shame and disgrace of Mr. Lacret. But he came out and speak about the corruption. I could say Lacret maintain the integrity that he has in him. Because if you sit down there, you do as number 10, and the wrong things that one was complaining about and put that one there and can not complain, there is a judgment that is coming. Because when you sit down there and see the corruption and don't say nothing because of the love of money, you gotta go hold you accountable. I'm saying, I want to say to the Grenadian people, if you love a country and you be a patriot, speak about evil. Don't say quiet. Speak about it. Once you do it in a disciplined way, you speak about it. Because I can consider myself as someone who's the champion the cause of honesty and what is right. And see things going on there. Have a friend doing what is wrong and do telling him. I would tell him, but if he vexes with me, no problem, the friendship break up. I would tell him about the wrong things he did to stop it. Because you cannot be my friend and tell him about wrong things. I don't want to take what you consider him to be friend. It's better you last some friend than you have them around you. Because when you have them around you, they are saying the Apollo is just as a thief. Right? And when you have a father or a leader in the country, appalling and bless it and give sanction to corruption and wrongdoing, that leader is also part of the corruption, and he is the head of the corruption. Mr. Pierre, have a blessed day.
Yes, scholar, thank you. So yes, there are some actions that was taken that is, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make political sense. Don't make political sense. You won the election and you won 9 seats. You was brand new to the politics. You have an opportunity now to build character. You have an opportunity to try to achieve what you said you would achieve. So you could stamp your impact on the society. instead of doing that, you start to hunt down people who you believe are not pure NDCs. But that have to be backward. Because for you to have won the election, it meant that a number of people that supported NNP in the previous election or that did not vote come and vote for you. So now you should strengthen your membership. Instead of that, you pick up your sword and you're looking for green blood. That does not make political sense. And these are the things that convince me that you are a political lunatic. Or what is your role? Who sent you? And we must be able to see, because if we don't, we will continue to get bad leaders. Only 2 political leaders in Grenada history that could get a real pass marker. Only 2 leaders were able to win election on more than one occasion. After 1 year in the NDC reign in 2008-2013, after they won 11 seats, it appeared that the die cast that they were going to lose. The people on the ground turned against them because they turned against the people. The Imanis that they promised they'll give $1,000, they start firing them. And the people turn against them. And the NNP won the election. And the NDC got less seats than a bicycle. And that go on for 2 terms. So for 2 terms, you remain with less seats in the House of Parliament than a bicycle. You won back election again in 2022. I think it was in the 23rd of June 2022 that you officially won the election. And by the 5th of July, you were firing people from the lower socioeconomic strata. Now, how that could make sense? You did the very sad thing that you did in 2008, 2013, but this time with greater intensity. So if that is not the actions of political lunatics, then what it is? Because these things is not in your interest. In 1990, when you got rid of the workers in the agricultural stations, propagating station, government estate, you advanced the view it was for economic reasons. People didn't agree with you, but it was a good reason. But what was the justification and the reason when you won election on June 23rd, 2022? Money wasn't a problem. You had money. You were just vindictive, fractious, and decide to go after the poor of the poor. So we have to understand that this thing is bigger than NDC. If we don't understand that, every time we make 2 steps, we're making 3 backwards. And our society is not being developed. And we supporting fractious leaders that are going to contribute to decadence, social decay, violence, bitterness and anger and hatred in our society. So we need to identify these challenges and speak about it with a view to change politicians. We have had many good politicians before. They lived frugal lives and they gave of themselves to help others. Today we have a group of politicians that is selfish. It's a gimme group. They take in from the poor. They squander public funds. Why do I say that? The previous government restricted traveling. They say we have the technology. We're going to use the internet. Some meetings could be conducted through Zoom. We're going to only travel when it's economically beneficial and when we must. And we're going to travel in smaller groups. Deacon Mitchell come, selected a man for foreign affairs. The individual could speak more than one language. One fella correct me. He say the man is multilingual. And I like that. I didn't know that word. So the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Joseph Andal, is said to be multilingual. No one in the country, based upon the team that you have, disagreed with your choice. That is the hand you have in the deck. A weak hand. So Joseph Andal was one of the best selectee for foreign affairs. But while you select Joseph Andal, the Prime Minister become the de facto Minister of Foreign Affairs. He traveling much more than Joseph Andal. Now tell me how that could make sense. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, madam.
And a pleasant afternoon to your listening audience.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Pierre, it's well established nowhere. Whenever you hear this voice, this is a voice of the movement. You understand? And I always say that I'm a committed and dedicated supporter of the movement. I also want to say to my fellow Grenadian brothers and sisters, both in yard and in the diaspora, that help is on its way. We are tired of, we find the situation in Grenada becomes too contaminated. And we believe a third force will give the people an opportunity at least to look for something different. In the movement, Mr. Pierre, to date, I like how they operate in there. Like I said, I'm a supporter. I like how they operate in because I find they have a more collective approach towards dealing with the issues that we face today. But listen to this, Mr. Pierre. These are some of the names you call our Prime Minister. In the movement, we will not call him that name. But I just want to call out some of these names that you call him. And I want to know if you are comfortable with it. I want to know if you feel convicted enough that you can express yourself in this way. Now, you refer to our Prime Minister as a political lunatic. You said that there are more, you said you called him a poor people terrorist. You said that you believe he is on some kind of mind-altering substance. You said he tells more lies than all our prime ministers combined. You said he is the worst leader we ever had. You said he is lying more than when horse trotting. You said he is encouraging corruption. You said this is the most corrupt group of people that ever lead our country. And you also said that you are convinced there is a third force involved in our foreign policy. Mr. Pierre, are you convinced from the bottom of your heart that all of these names that you refer to as of our prime minister, you can defend it in to date based on what has transpired? Have a pleasant day, sir.
Yes, scholar. And scholar, every time I make a statement, I advance reason why I make this statement. And I dare and I challenge people to take me on. And when I said the prime minister has told more lies than all other political leaders in Grenada since 1967, I even went on another program and state some of the lies the other politician has told, and take about 10 lies the prime minister said, just for. So yes, corrupter in chief. The prime minister of Grenada is a lawyer, yet he could have gone to the parliament and changed the regulation that governs the Grenada Development Bank. He did not do that. He flaunted the law with impunity and gave millions of dollars to members of his government, members of his team, and close supporters of the NDC that was not qualified. And I dare you to take me on. When the prime minister claimed that he did not read the document for the Somo agreement, he didn't even read it. And he was taking issue with a Catholic priest in Trinidad who authorized the signing. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, it is time that our people wake up in this country and stop being fooled. Now, this gentleman that spoke a while ago, he is the same one. He claimed to be a voice for the movement. This gentleman said that Adolf Hitler was a visionary. Mr. Pierre, that same gentleman said the atrocities that were carried out by the PRG was okay because the end justified the means. Mr. Pierre, we have some wicked, evil people in this country. They put on their sheep clothing and they are playing with the ignorance of a lot of people in this society. Mr. Pierre, whenever a wolf pack enters a sheepfold, that wolf pack come to kill and destroy. They come to kill and destroy. This same wolf pack entered the NNP. But what happened is that when a wolf pack enters a sheepfold, the shepherd, if the shepherd is a hireling, the shepherd would flee and leave those sheep to be devoured by the wolf pack. But it so happened that the shepherd that was there was a good shepherd, so he never flee. He stood up against those wolves. Those wolves flee. Now they are looking at ways and means to devour the sheep. Mr. Pierre, we have to wake up in this country. We have to wake up. We have to listen to what these people are saying. These people, a number of them are listening to the spokesman. They are supporting terrorism. The Middle Eastern Islamists. These are the people they're supporting. They don't believe in God. What they are doing is lying, trying to mislead the people, playing games, infiltrating churches and all these things. Wolf in sheep clothing. Grenadians, wake up. Wake up, or else we will be devoured by those wolves. Because you see, things looking good. and they are putting on the garment and they're coming out. But we have to be wise. Mr. Pierre, have a good day, sir.
Yes, scholar, thank you. Yes, and every time I speak, and when I make some strong statements, I invite challenge. And I've had many discussions with NDC supporters, and you have to practically corner them, for them to talk with you. They prefer to try to malign you with lies and intimidate you and financially strangulate you and go after members of your family. But I like to stick with issues, and I don't go after mistakes parliamentarians make, because they're going to make mistakes. But when there's the unwritten policy, and the written policy that is what I address. So yes, I believe Deacon is the corrupter in chief. I've said about 2 years ago or more, just short of 3 years, that I was sorry for Andy. I said Andy is being used. He will be abused. He will be spat upon. And he will be paid for. Because, and I gave reason why. I say Andy is naive. He is full of himself. And he believes he is smart. So he will be used. He will be abused. He will be spat upon. He will be manipulated. And eventually, he will self-destruct. So I was sorry for him. And I screamed out, hoping he would check himself. But he has not. And then you find a prime minister who is the de facto minister of foreign affairs. The minister of foreign affairs seems to have been compromised far beyond our understanding. And this is why I said, as far as I'm concerned, he's a mama pool. And he has disappointed the proud people of Shantimel and Montreach and Celeste and the other communities. They expected him to rule, and he has been emasculated and domesticated for public ridicule. All because he fall in the hand of the chief corrupter. I saw Lockhart jumping up with something on his chest. I think he's a lifeguard. But I saw a number of actions being taking place that Lockhart not supposed to identify with. And I said, even if he is a novice in spirituality, he's not supposed to condone, agree, endorse, sanction, or support deacon dabbling with the occult. And when I saw him doing that, I cried. I was so disappointed because he claimed to be a man of God and a fearless man of God. Immediately, you're supposed to counsel deacon because he could make a mistake, that he cannot dabble in the occult. And we should not have a third party directing our foreign affairs. And he should not corrupt the GDB Bank. And if he is an agent selling passport, who is going to be to check to see what is right and what is wrong? Lacquette should have corrected him then. You cannot be chief cook and bottle washer. Lacquette didn't. Lacquette should have corrected deacon. Chief, you traveling too much. Take the position of foreign affairs. Lacquette refused to correct deacon. The only time Lacquette ended up a cry baby, because Lacquette was personally affected financially. Can't pay car payment. His wife pregnant. He lose his job. He went to the lowest ebb. When he said, you could have kept me as a senator and give me anything. This one pierced my heart as a sword. No Lacquette want to lead. It's an insult for Lacquette to start a political party. Selfish reasons is only all about him. That's why I say I like them Catholic and them. You know. They sign for poverty, chastity, and celibacy. And even though one of them end up with a kept miss, very rare. You have over 500,000 priests. And you might have one or two that fail, that fall to temptation. Can say, I breed my wife so I can't afford to lose my job. That is why they say, don't marry. Married to the church. Lacquette jumping up. He's best pastor. And he condoned all these level of evils. Even when Deacon removed $150 from the elderly, the physically challenged, and even disadvantaged children was not spared, Lacquette still in support. After 12 in the night, a minister visited the hospital. Official trip, visitation or inspection or whatever. A senior nurse tell the junior nurse, you should send him to the pathological annex. He must be looking for Maurice Bishop's spirit. I said repeatedly, Maurice Bishop's spirit is not a spirit you joke with. He died under traumatic circumstances. And he was not a man of God. That doesn't mean he was not converted on the last minute. The environment was conducive for spontaneous conversion. Because he saw his pregnant woman pampering and showing them she belly as how monkey does show us the child when we hunting. But these individuals that he helped to create show no compassion, no empathy, and no mercy. I tell you, when there is no religion, morality disappears. In a society where you have a lot of Marxists, Leninists, and atheists, they don't care about morality. They put ideology in front morality. Lacquette was able to function in this group. He only complained because Deacon brought tears into his eyes when he removed his financial support. Can't pay for a car loan. Why you buy car for? If you can't pay for car, don't buy car. You can't pay for your house loan. Why you buy an expensive house? You can't pay for it. Kit Mitchell beg you all. Get educated and set up yourself first before you go in politics. Michael Baptist beg you too. Make sure you could stand on solid ground. Don't go in politics if you want a job. So that is why you had to stoop and tolerate these evil practices propagated by Deacon until you can take more. And now you want to form a political party. You're not a uniter. And my friend, the movement leader have always hid from all controversial issues. And the reason I think he hides from all controversial issues because his philosophy, his ideology cannot be sold. So he have to take a ride on a cause. And that is what put in our country in trouble. when we don't know what the leaders that we support believe in. We don't know. We don't know if they're evil as Deacon. Now, I want somebody tell me, when I said Deacon was a political lunatic, I want somebody tell me, what is the justification for Deacon and the NDC government having a cameraman taking pictures of video in Parliament? Parliament already have their independent system. The Speaker of the House should not tolerate that. But I understand. It's Deacon that give him a job. But what is the political benefits from Deacon cameraman taking pictures in Parliament, spying on the women that shopping? What they spying on the women before? They spying on the women while the women in Parliament. And the cameraman behind Deacon all about taking pictures. Anywhere Deacon travel, the cameraman. No wonder why the little sister from God and always have sympathy for her. Because she's trying to function in big league. Yeah, she said culturally literate, commoners. She said if they could travel with a cameraman, she could travel with Chibo. So when she going away, she travel with Chibo too. So you see how the leader could establish a very negative template. And there is no one in government that seems could say no. I have appealed to Dennis Cornwall because I believe he is the only hope in NDC to salvage some level of decorum, decency, and economic discipline. So I've always appealed to him because we don't want the government to go down a slippery slope fast. When that happens, the whole country is affected. We in Grenada have had the experience. George Brizan called us island of conflict, a false calm, milk on fire. So you want the independent voices of people who claim they're independent. Small country, all of us may not be have very independent voices. But a number of people like to claim their independence, to appear and seem to appear as if you're independent. So when you see blatant acts of wrongdoing, you speak about it. So you expected those who used to run around the country speaking about accountability, transparency, and good governance. I did not expect their voice to disappear. That is what's going to make our country good, when we have independent voices. And as we're boiling down to the end of the program, I want to express my support for Jenny Simon. I think you are playing an outstanding role in our country. And I want to express my support for you, my lady. Because that is what is going to help our country and our people to walk this straight and narrow. So as we come to the end of the program, any name that you hear called Deacon, I challenge and I dare you to take me on. If you give me new information that convince me he is not qualified to be called that, I will change. I will withdraw it. But I depend on you. That is what's going to make the democratic process in Grenada alive and strong and well, and politicians walking the straight and narrow. Thank you very much.
When the clock hits 12, you know where to be. Turn it up, Real FM, right? and sisters.